All right, let's go to the video chat now. Gino Odjick joins us from, I can only imagine, Vancouver, along with Marcia McNaughton. How's she going today, guys?
Everything's going good.
Good. And Marcia?
Are you fantastic. Guys, thanks for having us.
Are you both out in BC?
Yeah, I'm in Vancouver, and Marcia's up in Langley, I think.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
well,
Clover Isle, Surrey area.
I'll start with you, Gino, for those, well, as if I need to introduce you, but 605 games in the National Hockey League, mostly with the Vancouver Canucks. He's a Quebecer, Maniwaki, Quebec, played with the Laval Titans, fifth-round pick of the Vancouver Canucks in 1990, and onto those 605 games. And there's a movement. Marcia, I'm going to start with you, actually. There's a movement afoot here to get Gino into the Canucks Ring of Honor. Can you talk about how this started and where it's at as we sit here today? Because I understand the BC government's gotten on board with this.
Yeah, that part's been great. Well, it just kind of started a while back, Gino and I chatting with our friend Peter as well, saying, gosh, he should really be up there. And they've kind of bugged the alumni and stuff, saying, hey, put him up. And I kind of joked around and said, do you mind if I start a Twitter page and do a little push and see how it goes? And Gino said, yeah, give her. If you can make it happen, that'd be awesome.
So, Gino, how do you feel? Because, it's tough to start a campaign like this. It looks like the Canucks have been receptive to it. But what's your take on this campaign?
Well, I agreed with Marcia to give it a go, to give Stan Smeal and the voting committee a jolt. And I never thought it would be so big. Once Marcia started, I started getting messages from Vancouver, from Long Island, Philadelphia, Montreal, all over the country, in Canada and the United States. And I just couldn't believe how big it got so quick.
Well, once you get on there, because I have a feeling it's going to happen, I'll say congratulations then. But, what are you most proud of with your NHL career? With the passing of Freddie Sasakamus this week, which, by the way, was a friend of mine, there's the First Nations connection. But just getting to the NHL is something to be proud of in itself. What are you most proud of your NHL career?
I think the work that I've done outside the rink, being involved in First Nations community. As soon as I got to Vancouver, the head scout was Ron Delorme, and he really pushed and emphasized on us to give back, doing hockey schools, visiting communities, and really just teaching the young people that it's possible to make it even if you're First Nations.
I'll tell you what, I miss seeing Ron Delorme, by the way. I miss seeing all the scouts, but I haven't seen the guy that we affectionately call Chief for a long time. With Freddie Sasakamus, were you aware of him coming up, by the way, Gino, just of that whole First Nations hockey community? Were you aware of him before you got to the NHL, or at what point did he come on your radar?
As soon as I got to Vancouver, Ron Delorme started talking about him. And for me, growing up, my role model was Stan Jonathan. He was First Nations, played in Boston, and I wanted to be Stan Jonathan. So I got the fighting part going. I just never got the 27 goals in one season.
He was something for the Bruins, and I thank Don Cherry, frankly, because he was a little before my time, but Grapes made sure you knew who Stan Jonathan was if you didn't. Marcia, your take on this. Gino has just mentioned what it means to him to be honored by the Canucks in that way if they deem it fitting. What made you want to spearhead this, and what has Gino meant to yourself and to the Vancouver Canucks?
Yeah, well, Gino and I have been friends for, 10 or so years now. And it's when he was sick, you saw the outpouring of community support when he was in the hospital. Anytime he goes out anywhere, everybody's so happy to see him. You chant his name everywhere you go. That doesn't happen in Vancouver for any other player, for that matter, that especially in Canada that I know of. So I think it's time, Sure, people argue about should an enforcer be there or not. It's not just about being an enforcer. That was the part of the game that he played. But it's more about what he's done for the community, what he's done for First Nations, and the love that people have for him here in Vancouver.
Oh, man. You know what? You're actually giving me chills now that I think about watching Hockey Night in Canada. And Darren, you would have watched those. Gino, in Pacific Coliseum. Gino, what did that feel like? Man, what did it feel like?
That was amazing. I made a connection with the fans as soon as I got there. My first NHL game, I played against Chicago, and I got in a fight with Dave Manson, and then I took on Stu Grimson at the end of the game. And from that day on, me and the fans had a great connection. So it was amazing.
Actually, I was going to ask you what you think that connection was, but you just, for whatever reason, they always love the heavyweights, right? The Tiger Williams of the worlds and the Mansos, as you say. Now, when you went on to the Islanders, Flyers, and Habs, incidentally, your home province, did you feel any of the connection in those markets and stops, or was it Vancouver that was extra special?
I had a good go in Montreal. I probably played the best hockey I've ever played, and it was my home province. So, I was very popular there, but nothing like it was in Vancouver.
Yeah. Gino, what is the state of First Nations hockey, by the way, in terms of them playing it, the youth? There's a lot of camps out here, by the way, and Ethan Bear from Ochapowace First Nations, a good friend of ours, plays with the Edmonton Oilers. What's it like in your area, First Nations hockey youth?
Well, the arena in Maniwaki, where I'm from, is closed down. There's no hockey at all. They're talking about maybe January or February. So the kids are finding it tough. They got to go drive 2 hours to go to Ottawa or Gatineau, and the parents are not allowed in. They can't watch their kids. So the parents are finding it hard. But at least some of them are getting ice time, but it's been tough.
Well, once we get through the pandemic, hopefully things change fast in that regard. By the way, Robin in Prince Albert writes in and says, Gino's a class act. Met him in 2007 at a reffing, the NAHC in Prince Albert. He was coaching a male team, I believe it was called. That's from Robin in Prince Albert. Marcia, how can our viewers now, that if they haven't met Gino or had a chance to hear from him, obviously they fell in love with him if they didn't already, how can they support the campaign here?
Well, I think what I would like most is for the voting crew of Stan Smeal and the alumni guys and Francesco Aquilini, who I believe has the final say, to just be reaching out to them and keep going on social media. You having us on the Canada-wide stage is awesome. We've pretty much just been in BC and, of course, had the premier pump us up a little bit, so that's great. But social media is where they're seeing everything right now. So we have a hashtag Gino for the ROH. And I just tag Mr. Aquilini all the time, the poor guy, and as well as the alumni. And I really wish Stan Smeal had a Twitter account because I'd be all over him too.
Good old steamer. Well, Michelle Shaw's watching and says, I used to rock my Gino jersey to every Canucks game I went to. So I know the impact that you had out there with the Canucks fans, Gino, and I'll just say congratulations on that. That's something they can never take away. But congratulations on getting on the ring, because I feel it's going to happen. And that's Aquilini's fault for having a Twitter account, by the way.
Don't jinx us.
Yeah. No. Well, okay. I got you. Well, we're doing our part here. Let's put it that way. And when it happens, I can't wait to tune in. Guys, thanks for the time today. Good luck, and don't be strangers, please.
Thank you.
Yes. Thanks for having us. Great. Have a great day.
Thanks, guys. You too. Well, that was fun.
Oh, yeah.
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.